You're in Braves country.
Good morning. Welcome to Braves country as we have a big series beginning in Philadelphia today. The Atlanta Braves will send Drew SMYLY to the mound versus Aaron NOLA. So, Lord have mercy on us all, because this could be a tough game. We will be jumping for joy if we get this W. SMYLY has been very up and down. We know that. Aaron NOLA is one of the greats of the game. Aaron NOLA, a phenomenal pitcher. He reminds me so much of Roy Halladay as far as his repertoire, is being able to just throw so much junk all over the plate. He's got about 5 pitches that you have to pay attention to, and that makes it very difficult. If he's hitting them, he's almost unhittable. So I would say that the Braves are going to do their old ambush thing, and if it works out, we get the W. If it doesn't, Philly's going to be on us. It's a very big game, obviously, because if you look at the standings today, the Atlanta Braves and the Phillies are neck and neck. We're a half game in front of Philly, 3.5 behind the Mets. The Mets are at Baltimore today. You don't like that. While you're playing the Phillies, the Mets are playing Baltimore, but hopefully Baltimore can shock and awe them, because, wow, we don't need to go into Philly and drop a bunch of games there and the Mets keep winning against Baltimore. That could be a real issue. Looking at the actual matchups today, so you've got, by the way, yesterday, practically nothing happened in Major League Baseball. You got the Red Sox being the Marlins, and that's all the only thing we care about as far as the NL East is concerned. Nolan's going to take his 3.84 ERA. It's almost half of what Drew SMYLY is throwing at us. Zimmerman takes the mound for Baltimore. So the Orioles have a fighting chance, because the Mets, this is Peterson today. So we know Peterson can be got. And so hopefully the Braves can find a way to get a W today, because you don't want to fall much farther behind than 3.5. I really get concerned when my team starts falling below the 5 mark. And looking at the series today really quick, just going over what we got, and then we'll get into today's game specifically. Davidson versus Eflin on Wednesday, which should be a good matchup. And then on on Thursday, it's Anderson versus Wheeler. So there's not a matchup in this series where you feel like you're the prohibitive favorite. So that's going to be a tough series in Philly. We hope to get there 2 night games and then a day game on Thursday. So we hope to get in there and win the series. Taking 2 out of 3 would be phenomenal, but you got to make sure you don't get swept, and you got to start that today with SMYLY. Looking at the Braves for today, they're coming off an off day. The bullpen should be rested. And now that we've got a bullpen that includes Shane Green, and you've got Martin, and you've got Will Smith, and of course Minter, and Jackson, and Matzik, and the list goes on. But those are your 6 top ones. You can argue here and there, but essentially those are your 6 top guys. Everyone should be healthy and ready to roll. But we need to get 5-6 innings out of SMYLY today. We don't need him to go out there and lay an egg, and then the next thing you know, we're in huge, huge trouble. So today's game is going to be key to set the tone for the series, because you've got 6 games on the road, and you don't want to start the first game of a 6-day road trip this week in division by blowing through your bullpen. And if I'm Snicker, to be honest with you, what I do going into this game is I go with the mindset of, I'm going up against NOLA, and unless he shows cracks in the armor, I'm going to have SMYLY go toe-to-toe with him. Meaning, no matter how poorly he's pitching or how good he's pitching, I got to get at least 5 innings out of SMYLY. can't go diving into my bullpen if Smiley's given up like a 6 spot and Nola's out there pitching 1-hit ball going into the 5th. I mean, it's sometimes you got to take one for the team. Now, hopefully that won't be the case. Hopefully Smiley gets out there and pitches well. He's a lefty, so that's going to benefit him with obviously Bryce Harper, but they've got some good right-handed bats, and a lefty pitching in Philly, that's an issue because you got that short porch. But looking at Smiley today and looking at what he's been putting up here the last few days, or excuse me, last few outings, I'm looking for Smiley to improve upon what he did last time out. A bad Washington offense, and he only went 4 1/3 with 3 earned runs. You got to get more than that out of him. You just flat out do. Aaron Nola, he is a guy, he's got a 28% whiff rate. So you're talking about basically 20% of his pitches nobody touches. That's a pretty decent rate. That's a high rate. You know, most of your relievers are doing that or better. When a starter's doing it, that's quite a bit, because you got to think the starter's going through the lineup 3 times typically. Zach Wheeler, who is known as a strikeout guy, he's got the same exact whiff rate at 28.2 as Aaron Nola does. So that's what we're looking at today, is being able to put the ball in play. And by the way, they came out with a stat yesterday. Ronald Acuna Jr., 31 barrels on the ball this year. That is the most in Major League Baseball. What they mean by barrels on the ball is that means he smacked them. That means he's absolutely smacked them. That means exit velocities over 100. I mean, he's talking about he's actually drilled the ball. Nola is the type of pitcher that can make a Ronald Acuna Jr. struggle because of all the movement that he has. So I believe he and Freddie, along with probably the entire roster, they're going to be headhunting the fastball. If they get the fastball early in the count, they're going to swing. It'll be interesting to see if Nola pitches backwards, meaning throws you a changeup, throws you a breaking ball at the first pitch to get that strike, because if you're sitting dead red and I throw a changeup or I throw a curveball on the first pitch, it's going to buckle your knees a little bit. And then you come with the gas later on when you're basically just trying to stay alive in the at bat. As far as Smiley goes, you know, he's the guy that is going to obviously struggle a little bit with this roster. But when I'm looking at Drew Smiley, his whiff rate's not that bad. It's 24%. You'd like to see it a little higher. But it's the other numbers that concern you with him, and it concerns you with him that he's seeing too many batters in his outings. That's an issue. He's getting some deep counts. That's an issue. And looking at his pitches comparatively, even though he's facing longer at bats, he's throwing less pitches because he's getting knocked out around the 4th inning. Now, when he's on, he makes it to the 6th, makes it to the 7th. But this is going to be a test today in Philadelphia. Hitter's Park, usually high scoring. My pick to click today. You got the righty Nola. You've got a suspect bullpen in Philadelphia once again. They've had some struggles. I'm going to go with Freddie Freeman. I know that's kind of an easy pick, but he's a lefty going up against Nola. I'm going to pick him to have a big day today. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. React to tonight's game. Enjoy the game. Obviously, had a day off, so we can kind of recharge our batteries and get ready for a long week in Philadelphia and Miami. We'll see you tomorrow, Braves fans. And let's get the first one so we don't put so much pressure on us in the next two games. We'll see you tomorrow.